Hello everyone and welcome to CT Style Express. I'm Jalene Andrews. We're bringing you the Lawdown, where personal injury attorney Brooke Goff will share advice on important legal topics. Today the topic is dog bites and what to do if you or your child gets bit by another person's dog. Brooke, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you as always.
Okay, wonderful. We'll jump right in. Right here, we're in the summer season, so people are out and pets are enjoying the weather. What steps should you take if you or your child get bit by someone's dog?
So that's the thing. People say, well, how you can avoid it. I mean, right, that's the first question I always get asked, and sometimes you can. I think that's the unfortunate part of it, right? If you want to avoid it, don't bring yourself into a room or a closed room with an animal you don't know. But a lot of these bites that we see are dogs that escape out of a yard and go after you when you're walking up the street. I'm not going to tell people to stop walking. I mean, that's stupid, right? I would tell you, if you get bit by a dog, the first thing you need to do is get medical attention. The bites turn into infections very quickly. You may be like, oh, it's a puncture wound. Those punctures, like the dog's saliva goes in, and I'm telling you, I actually saw somebody become sepsis in 48 hours from a small puncture. They were so ill, they were so sick. A healthy guy, runs marathons, the whole thing. You don't want to mess with it. Kids especially, always have them get looked at by a plastic surgeon. Usually it's on the face, unfortunately, because the kids are like small and the dog is, yeah. And don't assume it's always big dogs. Like this pit bull thing, okay, pit bulls bite dogs, or bite people, so do German Shepherds, so do Labs, so do Golden Retrievers. I mean, dogs they're animals, right? But I see more bites from small dogs. Chihuahuas, Bijans, all these dogs that like people pay all this big money for, these like awesome breeds that don't shed.
People probably see a cute little dog and they moving
bite
towards them and
they bite. Not all of them, but some. All dogs have a propensity to bite somebody. A lot of dogs don't bite to be mean. They bite because they get scared, right? But the biggest thing with dog bites, and the reason why I tell everybody you need a lawyer, get a lawyer, figure it out, is the insurance issue. So many people, especially in Connecticut, have dogs, and guess what? They don't have insurance. How are you going to collect? Listen, if somebody, I always tell people, if you can afford the dog, you can afford the insurance. But if somebody doesn't have insurance, what does that probably tell you? They have nothing to protect, right? So what are you going to do? Okay, you're going to do this drag down lawsuit, this awful bite, and then for what? You're going to get $18 a week from this person's check when half the time they're not working. It doesn't work out that way. So you need a lawyer fast, so a lawyer can advise you as to, hey, look, by the way, there's insurance, here's who it's through, we're good. There's no insurance, here are your next options. Dog bites, attorneys are very attracted to in Connecticut because there's strict liability. Okay. Meaning, if you get in a car accident, I first have to prove that the accident was their fault, and then I have to prove that the accident caused your injuries, right? Two-step process. Sure. In Connecticut, dog bites skip over that your fault. It's assumed. I just have to show what your damages were. And a jury has to be like, okay, well, those are all connected to it. I'm gonna award them. I don't have to prove negligence. So it's a much easier thing to do. And you know, lawyers, I mean, they always want easy, right? So they think it's easy, but it's not, because if you don't investigate the insurance up front and really know what you're doing and how to handle these types of cases with treatment, you could be in a lot of trouble as a client.
Okay. All useful information, and again, you can learn more and get more legal advice at gofflawgroup.net. Some really important tips and reminders for people. Brooke, thank you as always for joining us, and we will see you next time for the next edition of CT Style Express.